Senator Manzo, what makes the opposition united? What brings you together?
First and foremost is we want to provide alternative governance in the country. And I'll give an example. You know, the house units going on, the so-called affordable houses. First of all, the levied on Kenyans is illegal, and it's one of the issues we'll deal with. Because Okago was asking what is our alternative. It's one of the issues we'll deal with. There is serious corruption in the country going on. We have seen in 2024, there was a report from the Auditor General that 1.3 trillion shillings were withdrawn cash. And you see that is a very serious misuse of finances of the country. You have seen the health system. Yeah. You know the procurement of the system to be used by SHA was very expensive, 104 billion. It was a direct procurement, and up to today, we have not managed to raise that money as a country. And you know the chaos going on with that. The other day you carried a survey in the country and Kenyans spoke. So these are the things we want to cure and make sure that the education of the Kenyans is back to normalcy. You know the lecturers are on strike today out of unkept promises, and therefore we want to make sure that the education is on track, health is on track. You know that corruption is dealt with, and we have people in the team, in our team, like the Honorable Mother Karua. You know she will not compromise on these things, and especially corruption. Therefore, the summary of this. The problem of the country is William Samoei Ruto. He's the head of state, he's the head of government. He's unable to run the government so far. That's why he dissolved his government and invited, after Parliament was overrun. You know, Parliament was totally overrun, I was there. And he decided to dissolve his government and then now opened up for broad-based and invited everybody. We did not join, but ODM did join. And I'm very happy with what Raila Odinga did. He stabilized the country. Otherwise, if Raila Odinga did not take the step he took, I believe by today William Samoei Ruto would have been overrun at State House and would be probably in Haiti seeking refuge there. So we have already a broad-based government who are trying to push or help Kenya up to 2027 when we will conduct elections. That's how I understand it, and we are offering the alternative. It's only that now the broad-based government want to run our affairs. We know what we are doing. And the first thing, and every Kenyan knows, and they have spoken, Ruto must go. If he's out of the way, if Kenyans send him home through the vote.
How about those Kenyans who asked the question Fred is asking, that if the problem is SHA 104 billion shillings, what is the alternative? The
alternative is first to make sure that that particular procurement is repeated. It cannot be done by a Ruto regime because they did direct procurement. It is in contravention of the Constitution. Is in contravention.
Why hasn't Parliament done anything? Because Parliament has known this for more than a year.
Parliament is under capture. With the broad-based government, they have enough votes. You know, Parliament just votes.
Why have you not resigned, Manzo?
Because the people of Makwena have not asked me to resign. They've told me to stay there and fight you. Because you are killing the country. And make sure that we open an alternative.
So in the circumstances that you work, Senator, what does success look like in your work as a member of Parliament?
Well, the best thing which is happening is that Kenyans are very hopeful. And Kenyans have now got hope. And they know the Kenyan nation will survive. And you know, the good thing is, under our constitution, we conduct elections after every 5 years. There is no other method of making a government better other than through an election. Yeah. And that's why we are saying everybody should participate in the forthcoming election so that we can send this government home and bring a government of the people, by the people, a government without corruption, and a government which gets the aspirations of Kenyans going. What happened is Ruto dissolved his government. The government which they stole from us in 2022.
How did they steal?
Yeah. You know, we did the election petition and I was there, and it was very clear that the win was Raila's. So somebody steals your cow and you find he has slaughtered it and given to his children, and your children have no food, you will take.
I don't know if what you're saying, Ngogo would agree with you, that they stole your government. Because now you're together, you are not in 2022.
Ngogo can speak for himself. The election was stolen. And that's why Ruto was unable.
But he couldn't convince
that's why he was unable to form government. He formed government, but his government failed miserably.
You couldn't
he had to be donated experts by ODM.
Senator, you couldn't convince the courts that your election was stolen.
Even when we went to court, you remember what happened.
Yeah.
The hotel story.
Yeah.
You know, there were police stations, quite a number of them, which you presented, and I was one of the lawyers, whereby the fingers would be turned upside down. Raila Odinga, in a score of 61 in a police station, Raila Odinga gets 59. But when it comes to the tally, you find he has won. You'll have like 61, and Raila Odinga as 60, and then you find it is twisted. Therefore, he gets 1, and 60 is stolen.
And now the candidate you're defending is working with William Ruto.
The only reason Raila Odinga went to help William Ruto is that his government had died. There was no government.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Sosion, should it concern us what's going on in the united opposition? He calls it disunited opposition.
Yeah, of course, it's disunited because they're taking us back.
You wish.
They're taking us back in terms of the Vision 2030 aspiration of driving issue-based politics that are useful to the country. Listening to Manzo, I think you cannot lie anymore in Kenya. And being a learned lawyer that he is, why do
Which your government has been lying?
To try and lie. You're talking about
the government has been lying to Kenyans.
And it should concern us, Sami, because any political grouping must have a clear philosophy and an agenda. A philosophy that is easy to communicate, that people can feel, that people can understand, and that is founded in an agenda. And an agenda that can unite the entire Kenyans. An agenda that gives people hope. But what is uniting the team that we are seeing is merely hate. We see hate against the person of the President of the Republic and raw search for power without outlining alternative agenda for the people of Kenya. I've seen Manzo here trying to poke holes on the housing levy, the health system, and he's struggling to provide options which he doesn't have. But I wish to remind him that, do you know, in your Azimio, the housing, in your Azimio, do you know the housing was a major agenda and it was going to be levied on Kenyans. So don't lie to Kenyans that you'll have another option of doing it. I think it is good we live by facts. Now, the pillars of the broad-based government are already laws of the Republic of Kenya. Housing is already a social program that is protected in law with over 170 sites of construction being undertaken across the country. And once programs are adopted, they become perpetual. So nobody should tell Kenyans that you are going to reverse certain programs that have been undertaken, particularly when they are social, like housing and health, which is universal. Those criticizing UHC are mere people who have not been sick, who have not gone to hospital. But people who have gone to hospital and have been treated and have been covered under this program have a story to tell. When Kibaki brought in free education in this country in 2003, that policy has not been reversed. It has only been improved by successive administrations. And I dare say in this show, nobody should lie to Kenyans that UHC will be redone differently. If anything, it will be made more successful by future regimes. The same case with housing, and Manzo here being a lawyer should know that the session of paper number 10 of 1965 focused on 3 social programs: NSSF, NHIF, and housing. NSSF was implemented, NHIF was implemented in 1966, but housing was not, but it remained in a piece of legislation. It has been implemented in 2025, and its effects are very phenomenal. We have seen Kenyans move to completed houses. And therefore, it is not going to be rolled back. Whether President Ruto will be president or not, President Ruto will retire, he will exit. But the significant milestone programs that have become government programs will remain government programs for perpetuity. Tell me, who is going to roll backwards and get rid of universal health coverage? It can only be made to work. That is the politics we should be discussing.
Okay.
Housing,
right,
and don't lie to workers that you are going to stop deductions of housing. That will be a lie. It's already in law, it will continue. And
we'll repeal the law. We'll repeal the law.
It is not possible to repeal it. It is not possible. It's already a program that is workers have already lined up to benefit for the same. We saw teachers sign an MOU agreement for housing. They are already aligned to benefit because they are contributing to it. So somebody cannot come recklessly and play politics and cheat people merely because of payslip politics. Don't bring payslip politics here. Nobody is going to repeal that.
Let me ask you,
the program is already grounded. It is moving. It is rolling. Kenyans are benefiting unless there is something.
Mheshimiwa Sosion, you talk about payslip politics. Are there issues with payslips in the country?
Let me tell you, as a Labour leader, there are no issues with payslips. There are none.
So Kenyans are okay paying
because paying the ship. Because when the deductions were introduced, NHIF, which was enhanced to 2.7% in the payslip for workers, NSSF, and housing levy, there was a revision of workers' salaries across board at 10%. That compensated. It's what we call compensation for what is taken away. And 1st of July, all workers enjoyed revised CBAs with more enhanced salaries. That is a fact for sure.
10%
so,
for who?
10% for all the workers in government service. That was done. And those
how many employees does government pay?
Employees in government are slightly over a million.
And how
many, than the private sector.
And how many people have a payslip?
If we talk about all employees in government, they all have payslips, from the president to the sweeper in a government office.
In government, public servants are about 1 million.
Yes.
But there's a whole 3.3 million of formally employed. So they are...
Formally, that is now in the private sector. That is in the private sector.
That's the point.
Yes.
So 2.2 million who are not with the government, and not everyone got a 10% raise.
In the private sector, it's the responsibility of the employers and unions to negotiate for revision of CBA.
That is pedestrian.
That's a fact for sure. It's not pedestrian.
That's very pedestrian.
It's a fact.
From what resources?
This is a fact.
Have you had businesses complaining about the business environment, the taxes that have come in with the new administration, with the 3-year-old administration?
But that cannot supersede social rights. You cannot be blind to social rights of housing, social rights of quality health care, social rights of reasonable pensions in retirement. Look at, for example, NSSF. When you tell a worker in the private sector to pay 200 shillings, and upon retirement, you give a pension of 100,000, is that really pension? That is punishment, and that is servitude. These deductions, in terms of positive effect, in terms of social rights, quality health care, decent housing, and decent pension is the best thing to happen. The only thing that needs to happen is recalibration of salary review. And I don't want to lecture to you on salary review. When you are reviewing salaries...
Sorry, Sosion, don't say a lot of things to confuse us.
No, I'm not confusing, it's a fact.
Recalibration of salary reviews, what is that?
If, for example, CBAs were negotiated in 2021, and you are negotiating CBAs in 2025, you consider deductions that have affected the pay slips in between, including statutory deductions. So statutory deductions that have been taken away becomes a basis for negotiating for compensation by the employer. That becomes a right. So it doesn't affect. And the government will come with policies.
That's tying to public servants and public...
Yes, and government has done it. Government has done its part.
Not enforce
the private sector should be able to do it.
I'm saying you can't
force private sector.
There
are reality.
But negotiations are there, and the benchmarks for negotiating are very clear. Deductions that have been taken away are compensated. That's a fact. So it's incumbent. It's a fact. It's a labor right. It's a labor fact, and that has been done for civil servants in Kenya.
Civil servants, yes, because they're paid with the taxpayers' resources.
And civil servants are moving to the next level of accessing housing. We have seen it. The police. They're lining up, the teachers and all the other workers who are contributing.
That's fine.
Then here, Manzo and Gogoyo are trying to lie to Kenyans that you can reverse a very monumental program that is already opening up avenues for social rights to decent housing, quality health care, and decent pension.
By the way, Mheshimiwa, how many beneficiaries do you have of these social rights you're talking about, especially for housing?
The housing project for Kenya, if you live in Kenya, is meant to benefit all Kenyans who can participate, who can apply, and who can procure. And that is why...
How many people have benefited so far? That's what I'm asking.
I don't have data, but I've seen Kenyans walking into houses, particularly in the slum area. Within the slum areas, we have seen the first beneficiaries.
Okay.
And now we have seen over 170 sites across the country. There will be people moving in. And let me tell you, from teachers' perspective and the rest, there is a lot of traffic in application and in trying to acquire these houses. That is why they signed an agreement the other day, so that in all these houses, they can 20% can be set aside for teachers.
All right, so
and the 20% will basically benefit the young new teachers.
10 minutes. Sheila Waweru, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Affordable Housing Board, told us in this studio, she was sitting where Ngogo is sitting. She said that so far, since the inception of the current administration, only 1,400 units have been started and completed and occupied. The others are just work in progress.
1,000 have been occupied.
1,000.
We have seen in Mukuru. Yeah.
Yeah.